Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is our 4th annual City Clerk Archives Month. We do have some VIPs here, so before we actually start the ceremony, I want to just recognize the folks who are in the audience. We have Councilmember Marnie von Wilpert, who I see. Without the support of the mayor and city council, this program would literally not exist. So we are super grateful to have you guys and have your support. We also have a couple of our distinguished partners in the audience. We have from the Gaslamp Quarter Historical Foundation, Brian Rickling, who's the president, and Rihanna Luna, executive director. We also have from the Whaley House Museum Complex, Victor Santana, who's the operations and property manager. Before we actually get started too, I want to do one more introduction. We have a brand new Deputy Director over Archives and Records Management, Mark Webb, who has kindly joined us today. We did a nationwide search, and Mr. Webb joins us with 26 years of experience in records and project management. So thank you and welcome. As I noted, we're here to celebrate the 4th annual City Clerk Archives Month, but that's partly because we had to take about a 2-year hiatus, an involuntary hiatus due to COVID, and we're super happy to be back here in person and celebrating. You can see our theme, Roaring San Diego. We have a 1920 celebration, and we have both this wonderful exhibition, but also a series of lectures that will be running from October 3rd through the 31st. So I'm going to turn it over now to Councilmember von Wilpert. She very much has huge support to our program and thoroughly understands the importance of preserving our municipality's rich history and also making it available, and that's part of what our digital archives are all about. So with that, I'm going to step aside and let Councilmember von Wilpert make some remarks, and I think she has a proclamation to present.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to speak loud because, of course, our beautiful City Hall building has an elevator that is trying to outdo us here at our proclamation ceremony. Hopefully this building will be part of the archives at some point soon. We're working on that. But thank you for being here this morning. My name is Marnie von Wilpert. I'm the City Council member for District 5. I am a huge fan of the archives, and I have been even before I got elected. I used to be a deputy city attorney, and I would come to Archives Month on my lunch breaks to take tours downstairs to learn about our city history. Because if you don't learn your history, we are doomed to repeat it. I mean, it was pretty amazing when the pandemic first hit, this pandemic, and because of our city archives here, we had photos of the 1920s, 1918, 19 Spanish flu. And even back then, fighting over mask requirements, wondering if the health care that we had is going to work. And so one of the things I've heard historians talk about since we're finally over the heart of the COVID-19 pandemic was not letting people forget. Because we didn't learn much about the Spanish flu. In school, in history, there was no memorial to the thousands of people who died in America. And it wasn't even a Spanish flu. It actually started here in the United States. So they said they don't want to let people forget what this pandemic was like, because next time we'll be more prepared. We want future Americans to be more prepared and learn our lessons, but you don't do that unless you have a thriving archives and historical society to preserve that knowledge and educate folks. So one of my favorite pieces of history I have learned through the archives was that San Diego used to have a town dog named Bum. And the town dog would wander around downtown, go in and out of the saloons, and get fed by the patrons. He would be in all the parades, just marching through. And there is actually a memorial to our town dog, I believe at a park in Hillcrest. So if you want to go see Bum's statue, a memorial, you can go and see it, but I never would have known about that had I not gone to the archives. Same thing with our airport. There are incredible pictures of the old San Diego airport with one little terminal and a couple of propeller planes. And now that I'm on the Airport Authority Board overseeing the $3 billion Terminal 1 reconstruction, it puts it into perspective how far we've come. So I really want to thank you to our city clerk, Liz Madlin, who is just doing a phenomenal job as the city's clerk. She is the ambassador of our government to so many citizens in the city, and was recognized by the San Diego Chamber of Commerce for Government Employee of the Year because of her work. I want to thank everyone in the clerk's office for all the incredible stuff that you do for everyone in this city. And so today I have a proclamation presented by our whole council and mayor, along with Council President Sean Elo Rivera, who is not here today because he is celebrating the Jewish holiday. But we wanted to state that in honor of Archives Month, the City of San Diego recognizes the Office of the City Clerk's 4th Annual Archives Month begins on October 4th. Whereas the primary functions for the City Clerk Archives are the classification, preservation, and conservation in excavation artifacts and public records that demonstrate enduring value, and where the City Clerk Archives are dedicated to responsibly preserving the historical word, maintaining records in public trust, and making those records available for research and appreciation, whether in a city repository or in the City Clerk's digital archives, which are amazing. If you haven't checked out the Street View camera now, you should, because you can actually see what the streets used to look like in real time. So across the nation, state, and local governments are recognizing the critical role of preserving and making records accessible and available to the public online. And the City Clerk's Office encourages all San Diegans to discover the treasures contained in archival repositories across the city. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council, for and behalf on the people of the City of San Diego, does hereby proclaim the month of October 2022 as Archives Month in the City of San Diego. Yay! This is for you.
Thank you.
Of course. Should we do a photo?
Picture?
Yes. Should we come up here? Okay. Perfect. Oh yeah, let's put this in the archive. Thank you. Oh, of course. Yeah, this is very exciting.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
So as the council member so beautifully put it, we understand the value of archives from this, from the City of San Diego's perspective, from a professional perspective, but archives provide value to each of us individually as well, don't they? I'm sure that each and every one of us has a personal archive at home, old photos and documents that tie us to the past. I know that I do. And back when I was 14, I went away to a boarding school. It was hundreds of miles from home. And my father would send me one letter every week, and it would be handwritten in his Baroque, almost indecipherable handwriting, but it was a piece of home. And sadly, during COVID, my dad passed away, and because it was the heart of the lockdown, he died alone, and we had to grieve him virtually. And just a couple of months ago, I was going back through my own personal archive, and I found one of those letters. And it's amazing how just seeing that handwriting again just transported me back to East Hampton, Massachusetts. I was that 14-year-old girl sitting on a bed in an empty dorm, feeling as much terror at the unknown as the excitement of being able to invent a life for myself. And that archival material didn't just act as a time machine. It also gave me a piece of my dad. It gave me a real connection that COVID had robbed me of in his final days. So that's the power, that's the magic of archives. I think we all have experienced it. And that's part of why we're here today, to recognize Archives Month. We're here to really value the connections, the stories, the fact that archives evoke a true sense of wonder and appreciation about what is past, that the history is tangible. And to that end, I'd like to recognize our partners, at least from two organizations that are very important to the City of San Diego. We share the same passion for preserving our city's lineage and fostering collaborative partnerships. So first, I'm going to introduce representatives from our Gaslamp Quarter Historical Foundation. And we have Brian Rickling, who's the president, and Rhiannon Luna, the executive director. The Gaslamp Quarter Historical Foundation has 172 years of continued dedication. Their building's recognized as the city's oldest historical standing structure in downtown San Diego. It's pretty exciting. Originally shipped from Portland, Maine, serving for the initial use of a pre-Civil War military officers' barracks and eventually the first county hospital in our city. Today, we recognize the Gaslamp Quarter Historical Foundation for their dedication in serving the citizens of our city and visitors alike. We thank you for the services that you continue to provide to not only the patrons of our city, but also for your second year in supporting the Office of the City Clerk and providing thought-provoking lectures by your knowledgeable and amazing team. Brian and Rhiannon, please come up and share a few thoughts with us about both the lecture series, perhaps. I also want to present to you, we have for you this beautiful historical photo, of downtown San Diego. So we will go ahead and give that to you. And if you would just share a few words, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Rhiannon Luna, and I'm the Executive Director at the Gaslamp Quarter Historical Foundation. And I want to thank the City Clerk and City Archive staff for inviting us here today. We're very excited to celebrate Archives Month and the City Archives themselves. We have been a participant in City Archives Month several times, as mentioned, giving lectures and sharing the knowledge of the Gaslamp with the broader community is always part of our mission. So this year, we were excited to find out the theme was the Roaring 20s, because it was perfect timing for us. We had recently finished a 1920s Gaslamp tour, so our historians were very excited to present this in a different format and to a new audience and share these really fantastic stories of the Gaslamp and businesses and booze and clubs and all sorts of wild things that were happening in those buildings down there. Our organization is dedicated to preserving and protecting the Gaslamp Quarter, and as mentioned, we are the stewards of the oldest building in downtown San Diego, the Davis Horton House. So our archives have a lot to do with early San Diego and the history of the Gaslamp Quarter. But as we all know who work in archives, no archive is ever complete. So the City Archives is an amazing resource for us and the entire city. They have just an amazing collection and such a knowledgeable staff. So I want to thank you all for having us today, and we're really looking forward to celebrating with you all today. Thanks.
And I am Brian Rickling, president of the Gaslamp Quarter Historical Foundation. Also an architect here, a historic architect in San Diego with heritage architecture and planning. And I just want to specifically thank the staff, both staff at our foundation as well as the staff at the city, because it takes the staff to make this work. And they're the ones that have the knowledge, knowing personally, going down and working in archives. Without that knowledge, without the staff there, it makes it 10 times harder to try and find anything you're looking for. So a specific thank you today to the staff and all the hard work that they do. Thank you. I did want to add one thing. I just remembered, Bum actually is downtown. He's in the Gaslamp. So come on down, visit Bum. He's at right next to the house. So come on downtown.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to take a minute to recognize Victor Santana. He's the operations and property manager from San Diego's Old Town Market and the Whaley House Museum Complex, which has partnered with the city of San Diego for many, many years, sharing in the passion of preserving our city's lineage and fostering collaborative partnerships. The Whaley House Museum Complex was once a gunsmith business in San Diego's first commercial theater, built in 1856, designed by our very own pioneer, Thomas Whaley. The Whaley House continues to provide the public with information about our city's historical past, educating and entertaining people of all ages all over the globe. So, Victor, if you'd come up for a second, I will also, sorry. No comment on the proclamation. I'm presenting to you this lovely framed photo. It's the same one of downtown San Diego.
Thank you very much. Good morning. So, as mentioned, my name is Victor Santana. I'm the operations and property manager for the Whaley House Museum Complex and the Old Town Market. We are both operated by Old Town Trolley Tours, and you might be familiar with our trolleys all over San Diego. I've been involved in Old Town since 2000. I was very young when I started. It's been a really, really long time. And I never thought that my life would end up where it is now, working in history, working in preservation, and just being a big part of what we call San Diego history and moving forward. I grew up in Mexico. I had no idea about San Diego, U.S. history, or let alone the Whaley House even existed. And when I was 16 years old, I started as a volunteer in that museum. And through different management changes and just coming full circle now, I'm back at it, and now as the operations manager. And let me tell you a little bit about that. journey. In 1857, Thomas Whaley builds a house in Old Town San Diego on the site of the former gallows. And as you may have heard before, the museum does have a haunted reputation. I think that attracts a lot of guests to it, right? But in addition, it was San Diego's first commercial theater. It was one of San Diego's first, if not the first, bilingual general store. And it was San Diego's second courthouse. The last trial took place there in March of 1871. Well, one of the new things that we've done, one of the projects that we did recently is we had another trial take place in May of 2022. We had 4 civil cases tried there. We got an email from a judge that was very eager to have something happen in that courthouse. And through great networking and coordination, we had everybody involved and we were able to make it happen in May. I mention that because the Whaley House was shut down through COVID. It went through a change of management, and we took over on July 1st of 2021. When we took over the property, the house was 90% empty. And through partnerships with San Diego State University, who had an archaeological dig from 2007 to 2012, and with partnerships with the San Diego History Center, and of course the city, the county, and just different entities throughout San Diego, we were able to complete the project, fill the house, make it something presentable and something we could be proud of to show our guests in our future. And tomorrow, we're actually celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being open to the public, so we're very excited about that. You know, when we were putting together the museum and, you know, looking at options that we could do, what we could do to enrich the experience, we would get people knocking on the window, knocking on the door and saying, I used to come here in the 4th grade as a kid, and I want to bring my child to see it now. When are you going to be open? People were so eager and excited. We finally opened. This is probably our most successful year to date, right? A whole year. But we've been very happy. We look forward to a lot more. Thank you very much for the invitation. We look forward to working with you a lot more. And come visit America's most haunted house. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's awesome. So once again, we are very, very pleased to have you all here with us. I want to remind you that we have a really robust lecture series that's happening through October. So it started October 3rd. It runs through the 31st. There are over 10 different folks who have given their expertise and their time. We have subjects that range from the San Diego Police Museum to the Ocean Beach Historical Society, Rancho Bernardo. We have the Coronado Historical Association, and there's one called Root Digger and Genealogy Research Services. So take a look. All of that information, it's online in the digital archives. We have a digital calendar. You can see when those lectures are happening. And just a reminder to folks that they will be occurring over at the Main Central Library. So that's a change for us. Instead of being right here downtown, we're spreading the magic. So take a look at that. And we also do have tours on some of our Fridays, and some people have alluded to that. There's some really amazing stuff that we have. So please sign up for one of those tours, take a look. And again, thank you so much to everybody who's participated. And as Brian noted, it is a heavy lift for staff. I do want to recognize Samantha Eli, who's our program manager, as well as her team. It's an amazing team. Ann Miggins, Young Zhang, Vanessa Christie. They really worked super hard, especially Ann is very artistic, so she has helped to design many of the elements that we have. So I'm very grateful for such a dedicated and amazing team. And I appreciate everybody being here. We have cupcakes, we have coffee. I also want to recognize Deanna Fuentes, my assistant city clerk, who's also really done a huge effort. She's even dressed in her Roaring 20s theme. So thank you, everybody. And please stay, take a look at the exhibit, enjoy some cupcakes, and thank you again to all of our wonderful folks who participated. Thank you.